So the first thing we're going to say is, you're making all this up off the top of your head. No. It's long years of study. And long years of working out in books. No. And then nobody will read the books. And then everyone accuses them of being full of rubbish. No, they're not. And then everyone says, but the psychiatrists, you speak nonsense, you're full of rubbish. I'll tell you what the psychiatrists are about, right, as a scientist, alright? They are a type of scientist, psychiatrist. Now, I'm going to say another word I know you don't understand. The status quo. Of course, you didn't understand what that meant at all, did you? Silly bloody idiots. Test my patience. Status quo is what they call normal, alright? Now, normal is what everybody else is doing. It's normal is how everyone else is behaving. Normal is fitting in. Alright, I've explained it to you in very simple 3-letter words. Alright, hopefully by now you babies have understood what the status quo means. Alright, now it means you've got to fit in. Or mental illness, you don't. Okay, you're not able to fit in. Alright, due to the fact that it's a type of damage to the brain that requires medication. The medication in this era is very, very, very unsophisticated. It's literally been born in the science of psychiatry. Alright, and it's very, very, very basic medication. It's also very, very painful, and the medication causes any amount of secondary health problems. You won't live very long, and the medication can kill you can literally kill you. Alright, but you are required to take it. No, you have no choice. It's the only medication there is. Right, I had to do that for a decade. Right. And it happens to everyone with mental illness. I was on the same destiny line as the rest of them. And they try and say it's a type of brain damage. Yes, that's true, it is a type of brain damage. However, they didn't know the rest. I've just told them, alright? And it's in great length explained in my books. To what mental illness is, right? Because they don't know what it is. And there's no point in trying to tell them, is there? Because they think they know everything. They're like most people who know hardly anything. They think they know everything. Once people know hardly anything at all, is the point they think they know everything. And once they know a lot, that's when they start to question that they know everything. Ask any wise man, okay? He'll tell you that. Well, they're all we've got. People with mental illness, all we've got. In the medication we've got. And we do have damaged brains. And the word is damage, not bloody dysfunction. It means the same thing. It's damage. Alright? There is damage to the brain. Until the brain is fixed, the person can't function normally. What does that mean? You do have to fit in. Wherever you're born, wherever you live, you do have to fit in, alright? It really is not advisable to be different. And you need to be able to function. Function means go to the toilet, wash your hair, get up in the morning, go out and get some shopping. Alright, people with mental illness have terrible trouble doing all of that because of the damage to their brain. Alright, for that they need medication. Alright, I've got it now, but it took a flipping decade for them to give it to me. And a decade of very painful medication and very painful experiences before they managed to master that. I had no choice. It's the only doctors I had. So everyone thinks psychiatrists are terribly logical. Now let me put you right there. A mathematician is logical. Other sciences, yes, are very logical. Psychiatry, right, is the least logical science. In fact, if a psychiatrist is logical, he's going to be a crap psychiatrist, okay? No way can he help you with the status quo if he's logical. He has to have very little or no logic at all if he can master the status quo. All right? He has to have very little logic. It's the other way around. All right? It's the other way around, or he will not master the status quo. The status quo is the big mess which defines, in every single era, in every single time and space, everything on earth, everywhere, right? The status quo is the big mess, right? Which is the combination of factors as how everyone decides to live together. And none of it makes sense, right? None of it makes sense. If you examined it all logically, it'll all look like total nonsense. It'll look like madness. They look like madness how everyone wants to live. But they all live together in the same way. Because human beings pick on the ones that are different. Right? It's a human tendency. A lot of animals have it too. If you're different, you get picked on. Right? You have to conform. To a certain extent, conform. Right? To your environment around you. And also, you need to be able to function. Otherwise, you're not going to survive, are you? if you can't go to the loo, you can't eat, you can't keep yourself clean, you probably end up dead. And on top of that, all the other problems you have with the medication, you will end up dead. And the tendency to commit suicide. And it is actually because the life, the medicine, the situation, everything is so painful that people commit suicide. Right? You've got to face all of that. And I got through that over a decade. And then I had 3 years of trying to master something else other than Jediism. I had to put Jediism on one side. And then after that, I'm at this point here, 14 years later, where I can sit and talk to you about Jediism. Right? And meanwhile, I've been writing the books. And I'm in a situation here where I'm being different. Alright? I am being different. I'm able to function. Just about. I'm able to function. Alright? I am being different, but I'm being different in a safe place. Alright? Just because I've made this YouTube video, mental health services can't march in here and say you're not being normal. No, I'm not being normal to feel the status quo of today. No, I'm not. But I'm in a place where people can't stop me not being normal. Normal status quo, right, is just how everybody lives. And if you ever examined it in every other area, it would not make sense at all. It's not logical at all. None of it makes sense, right? And therefore the psychiatrist has to have the type of mind that fully understands the status quo, that fully enforces the status quo, but never, ever questions it. If a psychiatrist were to question what is normal, alright, no way could he be a good psychiatrist, right? So when these used to make me laugh, when you sit with a bunch of psychiatrists, and nice, funny people, very eccentric to me, because they have no logic, completely versed in the status quo of whatever that era is, and very, very strong minds, powerfully dominant in their minds. In their minds, they totally enforce the status quo of that era. You can't question it. You can't say, hang on, that doesn't make sense. People live like that. It doesn't make any sense at all. You question it, alright? They descend on you like a pile of bricks, alright? And they have every single argument to enforce that totally illogical way that people live. Every single argument. And they will beat you every time in the argument. And make you look like a fool. And you leave the room. Alright? That is the psychiatrist. Alright? And the medicine fixes the brain. It's the other thing they know how to do. Fix your brain. So you're able to function. Alright? So maybe I seem disrespectful to the psychiatrists, if I'm not at all. It's a hard thing to do, right? They're scientists. They're doctors. Alright? They know how to fix you. Okay, they're using medicine that's only 30 years old. They're using a science that's only 30 years old. Not much older than that. Alright? It takes a certain type of ability. And that ability is not logic, alright? Try to understand my argument here. It's not logic, it's the opposite of it. The status quo is the opposite of logic. Now, there is a very good reason people decide to live the way they live. There's a very good reason why you must fit in with that. Alright?